Mark Carney go just 24 hours without being caught lying? This is what happens when you lie so much, like on repeat, you can't remember your previous lie that you made. So you just changed the story on the fly. Rosemary Barton said it best on the Hot Mic Moment. Who remembers? Everything is made up anyway.
Just because it's all made up anyway.
Isn't that the truth? In today's report, Mark Carney humiliated himself again, and Pierre Poilievre then destroyed Mark Carney in a brutally calm and calculated way. PM material, in my opinion. We are just 5 days away from the USMCA expiring. Where are we at? Let's get into this report. We're going to start today's report with Mark Carney has basically been doing a victory tour since he showed up into our lives. If you actually listen to his speeches, Canada is living through an economic utopia right now. He claims that we are the fastest growing economy in the G7. We have never had it so good in this country. He repeatedly cites global reports saying that Canada is the #1 place in the world to invest. Sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Until you step outside and go ahead and check your bank account or take a look at your business ledger. Canada is failing right now. The only one that's winning is Brookfield and Mark Carney's blind, not so blind trust. We're going to have some fun in this report because we're going to debunk everything that Mark Carney says. Here he says that Canadian job growth is 2 times faster than the United States, and we are seeing record amount, double-digit investment in machinery and equipment and so on. Let's just take a look at this.
At twice the rate of the United States. Our business investments are growing in machinery and equipment at double-digit rates. Non-U.S. exports are up sharply, and we're on track to double them over the next decade.
Affordability is the best it's been in over a decade.
Absolutely best of everything, Canada. You are living in a pure euphoria. Go look at your bank account. I'm sure there's $1 trillion sitting in that account ready for you to spend. First thing that we're going to do is completely obliterate and debunk Mark Carney's claim that Canada is currently creating jobs at twice the pace of the United States. The reason that Mark Carney made this claim is because in the month of May, if you recall, Canada saw a sudden spike in jobs, adding 88,000 jobs. Remember that? If you only look at the month of May, of course, it looks fantastic. Canada's job growth looks phenomenal compared to the United States in US equivalency. But when you actually zoom out, which Mark Carney doesn't want us to zoom out, because if you zoom out, you would actually know that in the first 4 months of this year, we lost 112,400 full-time jobs. That's the thing. He's hoping that Canadians have a very bad memory and forgot about the first 4 months of this year. The US have steadily increased 100,000 jobs per month, every single month for the last year. Their unemployment rate is 4.3%. Canada's unemployment rate is 6.6%. So even with the 88,000 jobs that we created, it didn't erase the prior month's losses. So we are negative in Canada. The US is growing their jobs. In Canada, from the beginning of the year to today, we are negative jobs. How are we growing twice as fast as the United States when we have negative jobs since the beginning of this year? We're currently desperately trying to dig ourselves out of the beginning of the year hole. Now, let's take a look at the quality of jobs. I call this the 80% illusion. If we take a look at the jobs that were created in Canada over the last 12 months, which is 147,000 jobs year over year, we have to really look at the sector that is currently hiring. According to a June 2026 BMO economics report, U.S. resilience versus Canada's fragility. 80% of the jobs that we have grown in Canada is in one single sector: healthcare. Healthcare. The job market is not as strong as what they're selling us. This is not a sign of a booming economy or a diversified economy or surging private investment. This is largely the public sector frantically hiring to keep up with an aging demographic and recent population surges. Meanwhile, the U.S. is seeing a broad base of hiring in multiple different private industries. Don't you find it interesting when Mark Carney says we are having a jobs boom? There's jobs for everybody. He doesn't say where the jobs are coming from, what jobs they are. They want you to picture that it's new factories, it's thriving tech startups. Small businesses are expanding. That's what they want you to think. In reality, all it is public sector jobs in healthcare. Do you think that's going to result in a booming economy? Now, Canada's economic genius is caught lying again. It's almost as if he doesn't think people watch TV. He is literally a habitual liar. He can't stop. He can't help himself. Let's see what he says here. And then just 24 hours later, he has a completely different story.
Call being about the Middle East. How much did Kuzma play a role in your call?
We didn't discuss Kuzma yesterday.
TV News. Hi, Prime Minister. There are a lot of people listening to you who work in industries that are hard hit by American tariffs, and I'm wondering what you would say to them about why you didn't raise Kuzma with the president when you spoke to him and when you plan to.
I raised issues around messages is clear, but thank you for your question.
My message is clear. I spoke to him. I spoke to him about Kuzma. I spoke so many times about Kuzma.
I raised Kuzma with the president. I have multiple interactions.
He's so nervous. He's smashing the microphone. He's like, oh, he changed his story completely. Just 24 hours prior, he said he didn't discuss anything with Donald Trump regarding Kuzma. And now he's saying, yeah, we had robust conversations about Kuzma. Of course we talked about Kuzma.
With the president. The discussion I had with the president, which he initiated 2 days ago, was with the security, included the security and senior military personnel of the U.S. It was very specific discussion around security issues and then geostrategic issues that related to those security issues. There's a time and a place for that discussion.
Just so people are aware, we're 4 days away from the expiry of USMCA. He didn't think it was a good time to talk to Donald Trump about it. And now he's saying, yeah, of course we talk all the time about this USMCA. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying a single thing that he is saying. Kirk Lubanoff did a side-by-side of Mark Carney lying. I mean, it's almost as if he thinks we are all dumb.
Also, I mean, you spoke a lot about your call being about the Middle East. How much did Kuzma play a role in your call?
We didn't discuss Kuzma.
Why you didn't raise Kuzma with the president when you spoke to him and when you plan to?
I raised issues around messages is clear, but thank you for your question. I raised Kuzma with the president. I have multiple interactions with the president.
You are a liar, Mark Carney. You've been busted again. It's almost on a 24-hour clock. You say one thing, you do something else, and say the absolute opposite. Doesn't this just infuriate you? Don't you want somebody with integrity leading your country? Don't you want to be able to look at your leader and say, you are an honest man? How can you do that when on a 24-hour clock, it's one lie after another? And because it's on a 24-hour clock, he forgets. He forgets about his lie he did yesterday, or he thinks that we forgot. We don't forget, Mark Carney. We see you every single day. You know what's really frustrating is that supposedly there was a deal that was done in October of last year, and Doug Ford had the genius idea to do his attack ad approved by Mark Carney. Mark Carney saw it and said, oh yeah, just do that, Doug Ford, which torpedoed our trade deal with the United States. It included all the things that we were looking for. Pete Hoekstra here says it straight up.
We're excited about that. The president was excited about it. I was in the October 7 meeting at the White House where, the president, his team, and Prime Minister Carney and his team, reached an agreement fairly quickly at 30,000 feet. This is what we're going to do. This is what we want to do on steel. This is what we want to do on oil. That would have been awesome. It really would have put the following 7 months on very, very solid footing and say, okay, now let's start filling in the other parts. But as we all know, that didn't happen.
Nope, it didn't happen. And we could thank Doug Ford and we could thank Mark Carney, the economic genius, the guy that said he's the only guy that can negotiate a win with Donald Trump. And now we just found out this.
Not far away from a very significant deadline when it comes to the trade agreement between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Do you, sir, have a gut feeling as to what will happen on July 1st?
I don't think, obviously, we're not anywhere close to announcing any type of a framework or an interim agreement. I really think it's in the hands now on our side. It's going to be the president, and I'm assuming on the Canadian side it will be the Prime Minister to determine what the next steps are and directionally where we're headed.
How is that going to be a possibility? If Mark Carney has a call with Donald Trump 4 days before the expiry of USMCA and he doesn't even bring it up once. He doesn't even bring it up once on the call. And he's going to be the guy that's going to negotiate a win for us. Don't you just love that Mark Carney only attends 26% of question period because he doesn't want to be accountable for anything. He doesn't want to be asked any questions. And we all know he doesn't want to answer anything because when he answers, we all know it's a lie because the one day he's going to say one thing, the next day it's going to be something else. His attendance is 67% for the World Cup. Carney's footprint here says the initial reports is that Mark Carney's TV at home was broken. He had no choice but to fly across the continent, causing change in order to attend a soccer game in a box seat that no ordinary Canadian could afford. Just on the last match of FIFA, he burned 35,000 kilograms of CO2 emissions. I want to officially thank Germany and the UK for heroically sacrificing their economies to save the planet. Canada's so low, we're not even included in this data, but we should include Canada in destroying our economy for absolutely nothing. Check this out. The Canadian economy is doing so well and inflation is definitely under control. Spotted in Ontario, $17 for a small basket of strawberries. Luckily, Mark Carney has zero idea how much strawberries cost. Maybe somebody should send him this beautiful price tag.
Affordability is the best it's been in over a decade.
Things are not going so hot for Mark Carney. He literally cannot stop lying.
Your announcement last week on buying the condo, the vacant units in BC, it's taken a lot of people by surprise. Some developers have said they didn't ask for this. There were, though, a lot of developers at your fundraiser in BC in February. Did anybody ask you for this from the development community?
First off, thank you for asking me that question, because not the last bit, I'll answer that last bit, but first off, no developer asked for this for me directly. So that's a simple answer. But I want to go to the broader.
Nobody asked Mark Carney. Then why are you doing this? This seems like one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my entire life. You're going to be buying luxury condos that are close to $1 million in one of the most expensive real estate markets on the planet to help the homeless? Like, what are you doing? Even liberal supporters despise rich developers and are seeing Mark Carney's bail out his friends. They are all furious, including Mr. David Eby. David Eby just threw Mark Carney and the Liberal Party under the bus. This could be the moment that we've all been waiting for. This condo fiasco is potentially going to end Mark Carney's political career. Check out my post, 279,000 views. And here's my write-up. Total meltdown. David Eby just humiliated Mark Carney. Carney wanted taxpayers to help prop up struggling condo projects. David Eby's response is no. We don't want to help rich developers avoid losing profits. We want to let the market correct. British Columbia just walked away from Carney's housing plan. Can you actually believe it? I never thought I would see the day that I would agree with David Eby. When your own political allies, the lefties, won't back you. This is a full-on crisis for the Liberal parties. The cracks are forming and they are impossible to ignore.
Condo proposal. It's I mean, you know, the federal government was enthusiastic about us announcing this before all the details were out, but in the absence of the details, the plot has been lost a little bit here. So happy to share some of the information with you. If you are a condo developer that took a bet on the high end of the market and you're facing significant potential loss of profits, what we are proposing will not assist you. The government of BC has been very clear, I've been very clear, that we are seeking to make housing more affordable for people. And that includes inevitable corrections in the market. What we see as an opportunity right now is the chance to buy products below the cost of construction, below the cost of what government can build them for, and make them available through a rent-to-own program for British Columbians. The numbers don't work in Vancouver. But they do work in places like the Fraser Valley, Vancouver Island, and the Okanagan. The federal government brought forward to us a proposal that looked a lot like Ontario's, which was the elimination of the GST on new homes. To put it bluntly, that just doesn't work in British Columbia. First of all, for first-time buyers, you don't pay the GST, you don't pay the PST. And so that would be a tax program exclusively for people buying a second home. And we're just not doing that. I understand that Ontario's circumstances are different, but that's why we don't support the proposal of the development industry. The goal here is to get people into homes, to give them the ability to get into the market when they might not otherwise be able to do so as a renter, and to do so below the cost of construction in areas outside of Vancouver. Look forward to having more to share about the program as we develop the details. But we think it has lots to recommend it over the proposal that was advanced in Ontario.
I never thought I'd see the day where David Eby throws Mark Carney under the bus, the entire Liberal Party. This is catastrophic for the Liberal Party. I cannot believe my eyes. It's like Christmas came early. We have one of the biggest by-election in Canadian history. If you haven't seen my exclusive interview with Stephen Curran, one win could end Carney. Go ahead and watch it. Share it with every single Canadian you know. This guy needs all the help that he could get. If we want change in Canada, he is our man. I saved the absolute best for last. You know, Philippe Champagne, the rest of the Liberal team, including Mark Carney, telling us on a daily basis since last year that Canada will have the fastest growing economy in the G7. We are going to be ripping it. And they kept showing us the IMF report saying that we're going to grow between 1.5% to 1.9% over this year, next year, year after that. We just found out today that economists are downgrading our economic growth. Check this out.
Recession, but it is a very soft showing for our economy. And as a result, we've had to reduce our forecast for the year of 2026 to 0.7%. Last time we spoke, we were looking for about 1.2%. And now recession, but it is a very
0.7% growth for an entire year. That is one of the worst performing economies since 2009. We are not growing in Canada. We are in a depression. That's it for today's report. Mark Carney is a habitual liar. He cannot do 24 hours without lying or embarrassing ourselves. I can't wait for tomorrow. I guarantee you he's going to lie again. And don't worry, I'm going to catch him in his lie. I look forward to hearing from you in the comment section. What do you think? Is this condo chaos going to cause Mark Carney to fall in the polls? Or is he going to skyrocket? Are all the polls fake? What is going on in this country? Leave a comment. I will see you on the next report.